Hello and welcome to Cloud Tech Talks. This is Pritesh. I'm back with another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about ERP in the cloud and what it means for organizations of today. What are the key use cases and business benefits associated with hosting the ERP in the cloud? So let's get started. As a legacy, I wanted to remind you that most of the ERPs were very less flexible as compared to what they are today, right? So it's only today that modern day ERPs have the ability to be hosted in the cloud or are deployed on a SaaS model, as opposed to earlier when it only used to be on premise and under the supervision of local IT administrators. Now, since cloud evolved and since uptimes associated to cloud got better, the same benefits could be passed on to ERPs as well, right? So what companies started to do is offer a ERP solution in the cloud where regardless of what kind of cloud environment you're using, you can host an ERP in a virtual environment there. So you can avail the benefits of a cloud environment, yet host your ERP at a very low cost in a virtual environment in the cloud. So to understand why people do this, let's look at use cases of ERP in the cloud first, right? So the first use case that I wanted to talk about is cutting down your overall capex infrastructure investment for ERP. Now, typically ERP requires significant amount of resources and hardware, which always need to be up, always need to be managed and dedicated for that specific instance. You cannot have it shared with anything else that you're doing in the company. So that's the first one that I wanted to talk about. Second one is more associated with the flexibility of keeping your ERP up to date, where you can look at on-demand testing and development setups for ERP, your upgrades, your patch management, everything associated to keeping it up to date and making sure that your users get the best experience of the modern day ERP that they have signed up for. And last but not the least, setting up a backup and a DR environment for your ERP where you make sure that it never goes down, it has all the uptime, it's always backed up, and you never lose any data, and so on and so forth, right? So these are some of the use cases why a company would want to host an ERP in the cloud. Now let's look at the benefits of it. Once you've done it, what are the kind of benefits that you achieve? One is host multiple databases on the same server, right? So this is a very it's one of the technicalities of a cloud infrastructure, but if you are familiar with what kind of an environment is deployed when a specific workload is deployed in the cloud, you will understand that there are databases that are always associated with a specific workload. So with this specific thing, you can actually host multiple databases on the same server and make sure that you utilize the databases optimally. Second, and one of the most important benefits is that you get 99.9% uptime or all the uptime associated with a specific cloud environment as contracted with that cloud provider. And the next one is obviously something that I touched on earlier is cutting down on the capex investment for the ERP and the associated infrastructure cost. And last but not the least, flexible model for growing or small organizations, right? So let's say you are a 10 user company or a 15 user company, but the business model that you are hosting today is so powerful that you might become a 500 or 1,000 employee company tomorrow. So how do you make sure that you cope with this growth and at the same time the technology also grows with it, right? So you need not deploy a specific hardware or specific infrastructure at your premise for a specific ERP today. Instead, just host the ERP in the virtual environment in the cloud and pay on a per user or a usage basis directly in the cloud. So these are some of the points that I wanted to touch on with respect to ERP in the cloud. Let me know if you like it and if you'd like to know more about such workloads. Until next time, this is Pritesh signing off from Cloud Tech Talks. Thank you.